Whether you play the PS5, PS4, Xbox, Xbox One S, Nintendo, whether you stream, whether you record, whether you do YouTube videos, whatever it is, we all are in the search for a capture card, right? And Elgato is always the leading brand, that gets pushed out a lot. A lot of people use because their streams are really good. And what happens is these companies they'll try to get sponsorships basically, or at least their advertisement is what happens. So they'll send these content creators or these streamers the Elgato Stream Deck and capture cards and everything else because they have a good viewer subscriber base. And if they say, hey, this is good, then people go buy it, right? Well, I've always been against that. I think that everything needs to be on a good, honest run. So if you haven't seen, I already have a Fifine 1080p capture card that I just did a couple weeks ago. Go ahead and check out that video. But there was another one, and this thing is like super, super dirt cheap. And when I say dirt cheap, it is dirt cheap. So it is 4K 60 frames per second. So it's ideal for you got a microphone input, you got a headphone input, a USB 3.0 AC adapter, tablet, phone, camera, which my use case scenario is going to be for the camera down there, projector, monitor, PC, game console. What else we got here? So it supports everything: systems of Windows, Mac, and Android. I just don't see Linux on there. Software, it supports OBS, Port Player, XSplit, uh, platforms as in Twitch, Zoom, YouTube. We want that good image, but then you got other capture cards like this one right here, right? So this is 4K, but now this one has HDMI 2.1, has VRR support, but look at the price, $229. That's ridiculous to me for a capture card. Again, another 179. This one here, it says 4K loop, but 1080 60 or 2K at 30 frames. So you got to look at them. Here's the Fifine one that I did a review on. It's 1080, 60 frames per second. Here's another 4K, but we got a few options here, right? This one here has 3.8 star review at a 4.9. So me personally, I like to double check and I like to look at a lot of these cheap ones to see if they're worth our money, right? So it just came in. I'm opening it up for the first time, and we're gonna see, what all we get. Nothing fancy, just a little bitty box right here. Again, I'll have an affiliate link down below. It really doesn't help me that much. It's like 30 cents or something I'll make off of it, but anything that I make helps the channel out. So, a couple things in the box. So the first thing first is you get Manuel. So Manuel's right here. You get a USB 3.0 to USB 3.0A cable, and then you get a HDMI to HDMI cable, which these are just going to be the HDMI 2.0s. Then this thing is super. Holy crap! Look at that. Look how small that is. Turn it where that 4K shines. That thing is small. That thing is like so little. That thing is little bitty, big time. I mean, it is so light that can be up out of the way. The one I have over here is like this big. So I can't even remember the brand I have over here, but it's what you see me on right now. So let's see what this one looks like. I'm going to hook it up real quick to this camera right here and see how OBS reacts to it. And hopefully I can show some settings in OBS and we'll go from there. All right. So here's the image right here from it. So what you think? I mean, from what I'm looking at right now, I haven't even watched the playback or nothing because I just hooked it up. I mean, it's very little. Now on the USB, real quick, on the USB, it is USB 3.0 to 3.0, but on the other end, you can tell it's actually an adapter. It actually is USB C. It just has an adapter on it, so it is USB 3.0 to USB C. Sorry. Oh my God, I have an itch. So the other one that I have that I started on, now that it's unplugged right now, is called the QMI. A little dusty, but it's called the QMI, and it kind of looks like a maxi pad. If y'all don't know what a maxi pad, go look it up. But that looks like a female maxi pad right there. I get this back in March. and I think I paid like $85 for it, and it's like 125 now. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description for this one as well as the 1080 one for that has 240 frame pass through of the five fine. Um, Plug this back up and go back over here. I think that it's essential for most people nowadays to have a capture card, at least have one on hand. This right here is just going to be awesome to go in on hand. Let me go ahead and show you some of the settings real quick of this hooked up into OBS. Let me go to properties, bring this over here, turn my camera off. All right, so in properties, there's my QMI, which is this 4K 60. This one here is 4K, so it's at the 4K. Now, if I go to custom and I change it, say I want to change it to 1080, this thing here, oh no, that's not 1080. Um, Come on, 1920, 1080 by 1920. Thank you. But anyways, the max frame rate though is 60 frames. So whether you are playing in a game or just record like I am, you're only going to get 60 frames. So if you're trying to get this to stream your Call of Duty and everything, remember if you are playing at let me go back to keep everything there. Remember if you're playing at say 100, you're on a PS5 and you're playing at 120 frames per second, then you're going to be downgraded to 60 frames. So again, it's going to be your use case scenario. So something with 120 frames pass through might be something like the QMI. Um, I believe the QMI has that pass through. I'm going to double check real quick. I do know the Five Fine does, but it's 1080. But there again, if you haven't seen my video, go check it out. It's actually a really, really good 1080. I mean, I was shocked. It actually almost looked like it was 2K. What one is this one here? All right. This one here is this one, and then I have the QMI. So the QMI has 4K 60 pass through and 1080 240 pass through, which for most people that right there is what they're wanting. They're wanting that 240 1080p pass through. So again, unless you're doubling the price, you know, you're gonna pay for to get 4K at 120, something like this right here, you're paying $229. That's just insane. So I think that it's worth it? No, but again, it depends on your use case scenario. If that's what you do is play everything 120, 140 frames, you know, and that's where you want to, the minimum you want is 120. That's where a lot of people don't understand how a capture card works. I might do a video about how a capture card really works and what to expect. But no, all in all, for $20, man, 20 bucks. That's all this thing is. Um, it's actually I got this for this phone right here. So on my Stream Deck, I'm going this phone here, and I want to be able to just hit a button and come to my side angle, or if I do an over top view of a product, like doing a product review like I am right now, I want to be able to go over my table that I have when I set up my table. And right now I run in OBS, I run oh, what is it called? Let me see real quick. Properties. What is this thing called? We got IV Cam. There we go. IV Cam and Droid Cam are the ones that I use in order to use this. If not, then I'm plugging it in. I got a cable for over the air, and I got a 1080p capture card. But I want everything 4K. I don't want different images. And this right here, to me, looks just like the QMI. So they both do 60. The QMI does 1080 at what did I say, 120 or something like that, or 240. Excuse me, 240 at 1080 pass through. So all in all, for 20 bucks, and even when it's not on sale, it's still only $25. So it was $5 off right now. That is a steal for what it does. And this right here is no different than a game console, my camera being hooked up, or Nintendo or PlayStation, whatever else. It's going to be just like this right here. So again, 4K. And to prove that it's in 4K, we're going to go ahead and I do my videos in portions. I don't record them all at one time. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and move me here. Minimize this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up Handbrake. So Handbrake is a tool that some of us content creators use to shrink our files so we can get them out. So this part y'all have already seen in the video. And right here at the top, it tells me my source right here. So it was created on 2024, if I can speak here. It is at 3840 by 2160, 60 frames per second, 8-bit 42011. Now, if I take the first beginning part of this video, which was on the QMI, again, there we go. That's 68-bit 422. So no matter what video I have that I'm bringing in, it's still they're all 60 frames per second. So in my book for 2020 at the here at the end of 2024 or going into 2025, since we're at the last couple of weeks of 2024, do I believe this is worth your hard-earned money? 100%. If this is your use case scenario, if you're just trying to stream on Twitch or whatever else, that some of these platforms that limits you anyways to 60, or you're just doing a campaign style game like God of War or something else, and 60 frames is enough, then you're fine. You just run it through it, and you're going to be good. Is this going to be for your EA sports players? No. Those players there, they probably make extra money. Go ahead and grab that $200 one, you know. But no, that is my review of this generic 4K 60 frame capture card. I'm Thomas with Tomology. If you haven't checked it out, go right here. Check out this Troubadour backpack. See if it's worth your hard-earned money or not. It could be, could not be. You're only going to tell if you watch the video. That's the only way you're going to know. You have to watch the video to know. Come on now, go watch it. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe.